What's up, y'all? Weddy here, and as of me recording this, it is currently my 33rd birthday. So I figured I'd do an update video owing to the fact that as it's my 33rd birthday, I have not been able to bring myself to do anything uh productive since I woke up. I've been up for 4 hours and I've just kind of been standing around staring at YouTube, not really taking in anything. But I had some stuff I wanted to talk about, and like I said in my previous written post on my channel, I don't know how many of y'all saw it because YouTube doesn't tell me when you guys see those. I did point out the fact that I had some stuff I'm working on, but I also had some life stuff that was distracting me from it. And also, since summer this year decided, hey, what if we just make 3 straight weeks be 100 degrees and I don't have air conditioning at my house? So if I'm not at my house and it's doing that, videos aren't going to happen because then I'll die. So that's why there's been such large gaps in my output over the course of the summer. Sorry about that. It wasn't like the last few winters where it was seasonal depression. It was me choosing to not have a heat stroke over putting out content. Sorry. Likewise, with the Warhammer 40k Space Marine videos, those did fall by the wayside because of the weather. But then after the last video I did had the issue where the recording froze and I almost lost it, and that would have cost me the entire playthrough since there's only one save file. That has admittedly had me hesitant to go back to it. But it's looking like if I want to try to get that done, whether or not I finish it before Space Marine 2 comes out, the best course of action for that's going to be record the pieces like I've been doing, but possibly record them smaller and then splice it all together into one super video. That way I'm not recording long enough for there to be a possibility of the video crashing, but the videos are still as long as I want them to be. So you're either going to get slightly disconnected sounding videos at the normal length they've been doing, or I'm going to just record all the rest of it and upload it in one big chunk at some point. I don't know when that'll happen because no matter how long the videos are, my computer still struggles a little bit to do it. But at this point, I'm not sure if that's the computer or the game, because it is a pretty old game. It might just be the game. So that's Warhammer. I saw, like, last month that there is more Avis Demon stuff. Not gonna lie, as much as I want to get back into that, I am a bit nervous about it. Because it's like, I don't remember the voices I was doing for anybody, and I also don't really remember what was going on. But usually the way I handle that is just to go, whatever, and just read it and hope for the best. But as I said at the beginning of this update, I did just turn 33, so I can't really expect my higher pitched voices to sound anything like they did the last time they came up. Two Kinds, again, accidentally fell by the wayside, but I'm still going to be doing Two Kinds. Summer, death, yeah. The SCP videos, like I said, I'm going to try to build up a backlog of those before I upload them again. I have to, at some point, get back to doing 001 videos. I haven't done the SCP sidestep in like 1,000 years. I stopped reacting to the videos because I heard weird things about that. Whole bunch of stuff with SCP. None of it's really that important. Maybe this October I'll try to track down the Unity version of Containment Breach and then suck at it because I'm not good with horror games. We'll see. I probably shouldn't have even said anything because now I'm just sort of like locked into that, even though I said we'll see. Dreamkeepers finally started posting Volume 5 on their website, so I can do that now. Prelude's been happening the whole time. I just hadn't gotten back around to it. Mondays are probably still going to be Warhammer stuff, but first thing, the Warhammer wiki, which I'm pretty sure nobody cares about, and I'm pretty much just doing that for me at this point. I went to go see how much stuff is left for Blood Angels, and there's so much stuff left for Blood Angels, and I no longer care. But also, I'm wondering about how I want to handle the format of the Warhammer stuff going forward. I was considering the possibility of, instead of just sitting there and reading the wiki and then cutting it off because, oh man, it's taking a long time to read wiki, I might restructure that so that I read the wiki on my own time, and instead of the videos being me reading the wiki and commenting on it as I go, I might just read about it and then have the video be me talking about what I learned from it instead and giving my thoughts that way. Again, I don't think anybody was really watching those in the first place, so probably doesn't really matter what I do with it, but it's a thought I had. And part of the reason probably wasn't anybody watching is because the way YouTube works, as I'm seeing more and more of, is that they even told me, but I didn't do it because I wasn't sure how to do it. The fastest way to grow on YouTube is to come up with a niche and stick to it. And I haven't done that because I wanted to do Let's Plays, but my computer wasn't strong enough, so I was doing Let's Reads, which it was strong enough for. And people knew me for Let's Reads, and so when Let's Plays actually started happening, nobody was watching them because that's not what they were here for. But I'm still going to do it because that's what I originally wanted to do. But again, I don't have a niche. Like, I've been seeing people where they're like, oh, I started my channel 1 year ago, and all I do is post videos every day talking about comic books, and now I have 1 million subscribers and got to meet comic book creators and all this stuff. And it's like, how does a year of a 60-second video every day talking about comic books do that? Because they found their niche. And I don't know what my niche is, and this video is not about me finding a niche. It's actually probably about making it even worse. Because I had an idea. Well, I had a different idea, and it turned into this one. There was a point where I wanted to try to basically do book reviews, and then I realized that if I tried to write a scripted book review, that what I was actually doing was going to be writing a book report and then reading it to you, and I did not want to do that. But I still wasn't sure how to go about it. And the reason I was able to come to a conclusion for something I could do like that is because every now and then when I'm playing video games for fun, I want to talk about them with somebody. And my dad doesn't know what the hell I'm talking about. And if my friends aren't playing the game, they won't either. And Lord knows I can't interact with the fan bases because... the fan bases. But I figure since my channel has Let's Plays and Let's Reads, I was thinking of doing a thing that I was going to call Let's Talks. And I realized as I had the idea that it sounds a little podcasty, but I don't really understand how to do a podcast on purpose, even though that's another one of the things that YouTube's like, hey, you know what you should do? You should pick a niche. And if you're not going to pick a niche, you should start a podcast. And I'm like, but I don't really have anybody that I could sit down and talk into a microphone together and record it. But the idea was basically, whether or not anybody really wants to watch them, the main reason I want to do it is because if I don't have anybody I can talk to about the stuff I want to talk about either way, I might as well talk about it into the void of my YouTube channel, and maybe somebody will comment on it and we can talk about it there. That'd be interesting. But it would be a range of things. It would just be like books I've read, or games I've played, or just some other third thing, maybe music. It's Let's Talk as in, like, I just do a video of just talking about stuff. And the first one was probably going to be Elden Ring, not because that's topical right now. God, I wish it wasn't topical, because I don't really like doing videos on stuff that's topical, because it feels like I'm farming for views, and that's not what's happening. The reason I would be starting with Elden Ring is because that game consumed my life for like 2 months. I got it the day it came out, played it for a bit, got like 70-something hours in, stopped playing it for a year, and then spent 2 months straight playing it every day and then beat it last Friday. And I got the DLC, and I've been watching a whole bunch of lore videos, so I've got some thoughts based off of how it went for me and how I've been taking it in, and I want to talk about it, but nobody I can talk to in my day-to-day life knows what the hell I'm talking about. I know the internet will, but I also know it's one of those things where it's like, if I started off talking about Elden Ring, and I don't, like, glaze the hell out of it, then that's probably gonna go sideways. But it's my opinion about a game I spent my money on for my game system and my experiences with it, and I shouldn't really have to give a shit what other people think about how I felt about it. I just want to talk about it. So that's probably going to be the first thing of the Let's Talk, and from there, I have some other ideas. I have a stack of graphic novels that I want to read and talk about. I want to talk about some books I've read in my past. I have a few ideas for it already. It's just one of those things where it's like, I wanted to float it to you guys as a me talking video, haha. instead of just me writing it in a text post like the last few things I've done. But having mentioned the Let's Talk, there was some other stuff I mentioned in that text post that I was purposely vague about because I didn't want to lock myself into it and then fail. So, I'm sure you've noticed the whole thing with the Final Fantasy videos, which isn't done yet. I have sequels I still have to do videos on. I just want to beat the games that they're sequels to first. I have been sitting on Final Fantasy VII Dirge of Cerberus for like 2-3 months now trying to find a PS2 to record it with, and I finally got one. I'm not sure, though, if I should just spit out the video for that, because I beat Final Fantasy VII Remake and the DLC, but I've never beaten the actual Final Fantasy VII. Should I do that before doing a Dirge of Cerberus video? I don't know. It doesn't sound like Dirge of Cerberus is going to be spoilers for Final Fantasy VII. It sounds like Dirge of Cerberus is a sort of kind of maybe prequel-ish, but also the bad guys from Dirge of Cerberus showed up in Final Fantasy VII Intergrade, and I want to know what's up with that. So there might be a video for that coming soon. Once I finish Final Fantasy XIII, I'm going to do videos on both those games. Whenever I finish Final Fantasy X, there's going to be one on 10 too. And once I've done all of that, then I'm looking to have the video come out for Theatrhythm, whatever the subtitle for Theatrhythm was. I haven't played that in a while. So that's that. But in that same frame, there are other games that I have the majority of the franchise for that I was going to be doing. So in the same way that I did Final Fantasy, where I did an amount of the game and then moved on, I was going to be doing that with Resident Evil and also Assassin's Creed. I've so far only recorded Assassin's Creed 1 and Resident Evil 0. This is because for one, they're all on my Xbox and I don't have access to that right now. But when I recorded Assassin's Creed 1, the game crashed twice. And I did leave the video like that, and I'm intending on uploading it like that. When it's on my dashboard, I want to make sure that I blur out what the email address that pops up was, if it popped up at all. But I am going to leave it like that because I think it's funny. And for Resident Evil 0, there was no issues with that. I just don't want to start uploading them until I've recorded more than just those. But same thing, heat wave, death, blah blah blah. The Xbox gets about as hot as a refrigerator does. So I can only do that but for so long in a heat wave. But I have other franchises I can do that with that I hadn't really considered, such as Mega Man, which I have on the Xbox every Mega Man game except for Legends and Battle Network. Legends, I think I would have to jump through some hoops to get my hands on that. And Battle Network, I can easily get it. I just have to have money and want to. But that's the other thing of playing through franchises. It always starts off as me intending to play through the games I've already got, and then I end up buying more because I'm having fun and want to do more of that. Like there was a couple of Final Fantasy games I did videos of that I did not have before I started doing that, which defeated the purpose of why I was doing it. And I don't want to do that again, but then I ended up totally doing that again, because for Resident Evil, I have the original version of Resident Evil 4, but I have the remakes of 2 and 3, and I didn't have Village, so I got Village, and I was thinking of asking one of my friends if I could borrow his copy of the remake of 4, or if it would make more sense to just play the one I've got. But there's also Castlevania, now that they just released the DS Castlevania games for the Nintendo Switch and the PlayStation and the Xbox. If I get the Advanced Bundle and that bundle of Castlevania games, then I will have access to most of the Castlevania franchise that I can do YouTube videos of. I'm not very good at them. That's the other thing, that's kind of funny about doing stuff like this, is whether or not I'm good at them is a little beside the point. I know that I am trash at Castlevania 1. I've never played Castlevania 2. I've never heard anything about Castlevania 3. I don't think that anybody has access to Castlevania 64 yet, unless I track down a Nintendo 64 and a copy of it, which, no. For how long it took me to get a PS2 for Dirge of Cerberus, I'm not I'm not doing it again for the Nintendo 64. Unless I can borrow a Nintendo 64 from somebody, and then I still gotta track down a copy of Castlevania 64. But other than that, I have the Lords of Shadow games, I've got the little DS one, I've got Symphony of the Night with the right dialogue. I don't think I have Rondo of Blood, but I do have the first Castlevania bundle on the Switch. So I do have a lot of Castlevania games, but that's one of the ones where I might not do that. If I do it at all, it wouldn't be until I get more of them. And I would probably also throw Bloodstained in there. But I'm not going to get Mighty Number 9. We're not going to do that. But that's all possibilities. The Assassin's Creed and the Resident Evil definitely happening. Castlevania Mega Man, possibility. But the other thing that's happening that's a little bit different than the other ones is the Kingdom Hearts series. And that one I want to do a full Let's Play of all of them because I have all of them, if you don't count the phone games. I'm not sure how to handle the Unchained or whatever the subtitle was for the phone game. I'm not sure how to handle that since they shut it down, and it's not like I can play it on my computer, and I don't have the tech to record it off my phone. And I think if I were to try to do reacts to other people who, like, I was told there's someone who voice acted the games, and that sounds interesting, but I don't want YouTube or them to get mad at me if I do videos reacting to it. So I'd have to look into that. But I do have all of the Kingdom Hearts games on Xbox that can be had on Xbox. I've already played through all of them on the PlayStation, with the exception of Chain of Memories. Because I do not enjoy Chain of Memories in that format. And I've not heard of all of my friends who have played through that game, it does not sound like any of them really enjoyed it. But then they're like, no, it was great, I had a good time, I saw nothing but you cursing its existence. If you're honestly going to try to convince me that game was fun, you already failed. But unlike Assassin's Creed and Final Fantasy and Resident Evil and possibly Castlevania and possibly Mega Man, the Kingdom Hearts games I would be playing all the way through. And the format that I would be doing that for the sake of simplicity, would be one world per episode. I don't know how long that would actually be. I was briefly live streaming the first Kingdom Hearts game in that manner, and I might have to do like I might have to do for Warhammer, where I'm going to probably need to record it smaller and piece it together for the sake of my tech not bursting into flame. But I do definitely want to do that. I just don't know when I want to do that, which is why I was being so cagey about saying what it actually was, because I don't want to say stuff and then not do it. But I already started working on the Assassin's Creed and the Resident Evil. I've already got them all installed to my Xbox. I just need to find myself in a position of having both the energy and not experiencing the heat death of the universe to get back on that. Same thing for Warhammer. Every time I record that game, I have to put an ice pack on my laptop where the RAM sits. Like, my laptop's getting hot just from this update video, and all I'm doing is talking while this cat dances. But, that being said, that was pretty much the main reason this update video was happening, is because I wanted to actually say what I was doing with the games. Eventually I'm going to get back to Freedom Planet. I keep forgetting that game is a thing that exists. It's not that I'm not enjoying it, I just keep forgetting that it's a thing that exists. But at least I didn't lose all my progress on the Switch version like I did on the computer. I don't know why that happened. And I haven't purchased the sequel yet. I'm not going to, like, buy that until I actually finish the first one, because I assume the events of the first game matter to the second game, and the first game just had its 10th anniversary, so that's something. I have multiple folders of games I want to do videos of. Let me just bring my mouse over here and click it. There's 2064 read-only memories, which I was doing silent Let's Plays of because they have their own dialogue. Freedom Planet, the Final Fantasy folder still exists. I never got back around to Oxenfree because it felt like nobody cared. I was having fun playing it, but it, again, was one of those things where it's like, this is not really getting enough views for me to feel like it's worth it to continue doing it as a Let's Play, but I don't want to play it on my own time just in case I come back to it. In the Let's Try folder, I have multiple games I made folders for that I was going to do videos of and post eventually. Obviously, those haven't happened. Maybe not, obviously. It's not like I told you what they are. I'll keep that to myself, and when they happen, they'll happen. But there are 3 more Warhammer games in there other than the one I'm doing now. I sort of wanted to do another, like, Monster Catcher game week, but I don't have enough of them to do another one of those. I keep almost having enough, and then selling them to buy other things that I want to play for fun. And then there's the folder for all of the games I was going to re-record from when I first restructured my YouTube channel for this. Because my YouTube channel used to be just a whatever I feel like posting channel, and then I deleted almost everything from it and started doing Let's Plays and Let's Reads instead. So there's just... let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... 6, 7... 63... There's 68 games that I was going to do videos of because now I have stronger tech and a better microphone. Stronger computer, gaming laptop, better microphone. There's one game that I swore I would come back for when I had a gaming laptop and never did it. It's here. Just, there's a couple of games I can't redo because YouTube got mad at me about them. One of them, I don't remember what the game was called, but there was a point where I'm pretty sure I was just first-person view swimming through a vaginal canal. Obviously, YouTube had some thoughts about that, so that one's not coming back. But there's some of these I'm looking forward to playing again. And others that I'm really, really not. But I do still want to come back to that at some point. I just have to get off my butt and actually record them. Like, I have SteamWorld Dig on here, but I now have access to SteamWorld Dig 2 and SteamWorld Heist and SteamWorld whatever the fantasy one was. I don't have SteamWorld Heist 2 yet, or the SteamWorld Build. But I think I have access to Build on Game Pass at least. We'll see. Got System Shock on here. There's a whole bunch of games. But they're just going to be me trying them again. I deleted all the old videos already, so if people had been watching them, you're not going to know which ones I'm talking about. It's gone. It's gone. That's probably about it. Should I check out the Let's Read things? I'm not sure why I'm still holding on to the reaction. Like, I have Porkchop and Flat Screen in here already. I don't even know if the person who asked for that is still subscribed to me. I don't know if I don't know if there was anybody even watching those. I was enjoying watching them. I just haven't in a while. There's nothing in the hiatus folder, so I guess nothing is in hiatus. I'm not sure why I still have a folder for the Backrooms. I was enjoying reading the Backrooms wiki, and then I had people tell me that they wanted me to go read specific things and not do what I was doing, and then I just stopped reading the Backrooms entirely. Last month made like a year ago since the last time I did anything with that folder. Cryptids is still here, but I don't really have any cryptids left to read about unless anybody wants to shoot me some cryptids. It's always fun to read about those, but I don't really know what to look for. And in the Let's Reads folder, there's Abe's Team, Dreamkeepers, the Kardashev Scale Wiki, which after a certain point in that, I'm not sure where I'm supposed to be going with that next. Lackadaisy's happening. I'm not sure if Lackadaisy has updated since they've started working on the first season of the show. So if anybody knows if that's been updating, I could probably just check. But in the event that I forget to check, I think there's been 1 or 2 updates to Prequel, but because of the way that Prequel pages work, I've probably only got 1 video worth of content for that, which is why I've been holding off. SCP, I already addressed that. 2 Kinds, I already addressed that. Warhammer Wiki is probably going to be changing the way I'm doing it. And that's about it. That covers everything. If anybody has any thoughts on the Let's Talk idea, I'd appreciate hearing them. If you watched through this whole thing, I'd appreciate thoughts on that. Whether or not I feel like it's a good idea to talk about Elden Ring in this particular climate of the internet is beside the point. I just want to talk about how I felt about it. And I'll probably write some notes, not a full script, just some notes to keep it not as rambly as it could be. I don't have footage. I might try to get footage. I just have some clips that I screenshot and then they went straight to my OneDrive and then I deleted them, but I showed them to friends so I can download them again. Like how the end of when I finally beat Melania went, or how hilariously quick the Gideon fight was. I have clips of those that I can go get, but other than that, it didn't really occur to me to try to record Elden Ring because I never thought I would be doing content about it. But I want to talk about it, so I guess... I don't know. Maybe I'll get some footage when I start my first New Game Plus. Who knows? But, it always feels weird to do my outro for update videos because they're just update videos, and asking for subscribers on an update video just feels weird and stupid. But, whatever content ends up coming out next, I do have some stuff recorded. I'm just hanging on to it until I'm ready to show it. I will see y'all in whatever the next thing happens to be. Later.